Hi guys, welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. You've joined me in the Callaway Fitting Centre at the Belfry today. We're going to do a video looking at pitching, and it's a little bit of a different video today. It's not so much of an instructional video, but a little bit more of an informative video which might help you when you're out on the golf course to hit those shots that we all want to hit, those nice pitch shots that spin, pull up on the second bounce and hopefully finish pretty close to the flag. So we're in the Callaway Fitting Centre. We've got TrackMan down here, which is turned on, and I've set it up to a target which is around about 50 yards away. So we're going to look at about 50-yard pitch shots. And I've got a 58-degree wedge here, which I'm going to play these with. So 50 yards is pretty much a standard distance that we'd like to play a pitch shot over. And we're just going to go through one important thing, which I think maybe gets a little bit overlooked from amateurs when they're trying to hit these shots. So if you were to go to a tournament, a PGA Tour event, European Tour event, a major, one of the things that I would think you'd be quite surprised at is how low they flight their pitch shots over this distance of about 50 yards. Many people think because the club's built with sort of 50, well in this case 58 degrees loft, they believe that ball's going to shoot off pretty high, and land quite softly. It's not really the case. You'd be quite surprised at how low that golf ball goes into the green, but it is loaded with spin. After that first bounce, it's going to pull up on the second bounce. And it's much easier to control the distance that we hit the golf ball if we can fly that ball a bit lower. The flight time will be reduced, which is the amount of time the ball's in the air. And if the flight time is reduced, it's much easier for us to control how far that ball goes. So what we're going to do, I've got my iPad down here, which is popping up the TrackMan numbers. We're just looking at ball speed, carry, launch angle, and spin. Okay, so we're just going to look at those. So carry distances, obviously how far the ball's going. Spin is quite important because that's what golfers tend to tell us they want. They want more spin, they want more control. And the launch angle is quite important to give us indications of the angle at which that ball's going off. As I say, I've got a 58-degree wedge here, so I'm just going to hit a couple initially. And what we're actually going to do in this little test is I've got two types of golf ball here. Both are Strixon range balls. I've got the yellow ones and the white ones. There's a little bit of difference in the two, but I'm just going to go through what those differences are after I've hit a couple of shots. So first of all, we'll go ahead and hit this yellow one first. So I'm just going to play this with a 58, let's say just over a 50-yard distance if I can. Okay, it might be a couple of yards less than 50. Right, so that carried 44 yards. I'll put these numbers up on the screen so you can see them, but carried 44 yards, launched at just under 29 degrees, and the spin rate was about 7,000. Okay, so those are your three numbers there. Okay, so hopefully you'll see those on the screen now. Just going to play that one again. Okay. And that seemed to have a little bit more spin, about the same distance, but a bit more spin. Yeah, so it was up at nearly 8,500 revolutions per minute. Carry was about 43, so again, not doing too well on the distance front here. And launch angle was 26, okay? So I'm going to try one more. Try and get it 50 yards this time if I can. Okay, distance is much better on that one. Maybe didn't quite spin as much. So launch angle 26.6. Spin rate just under 8,000 and carry 49.8, okay? So pretty decent shots there. Launch angle range from about 29 down to 26. Spin rate was a little bit low on the first one, but pretty high in the second, and carry wasn't too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and play the same shots, but I'm going to use these white golf balls now. It was just slightly different. So same setup, same technique, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so distance not bad. So carried 47 yards, but you see the launch angle there was 36 degrees. Didn't actually get the spin on that, so we'll hit another one in a minute. But you see the launch angle went way up there, 36 degrees. That's more than 6 degrees more than it was with the first golf ball we tried. Okay. Now, obviously, from where the camera is, you can't see this, but visually that was a lot higher. 6 degrees doesn't sound like an awful lot, but from visual aspect, that was a lot higher. That ball was in the air for a longer period of time. Again, it went the right distance, but it was certainly a very different flight. So let's try another couple. And that's almost an identical flight. Similar sort of distance. Launch angle is going to be about the same. Okay, so launch angle 36 and a bit. Carry just over 50, so 54 yards, and spin rate 2,837. Okay, so massively different readings there. Okay, I'm just going to do one more. Okay, maybe a little short on distance, but launch angle again way up over 30. So 34-degree launch, carry at 48, and again, didn't get the spin rate. But again, we can see those three shots are quite considerably different. So the biggest difference there, carry wasn't too different. Okay, managed to get that ball landing the same sort of distance through the air. The launch angle was, way up, about 4 or 5 degrees higher with the white golf ball. And the spin rate, we only got one reading there with the spin, but it was down near 3,000, so less than half. Okay, so big differences. Those balls looked different through the air, and they are definitely going to react differently when they hit the ground. On the golf course, the first shots with the yellow golf ball are going to be a lot easier to control. So why do we get those big differences? Well, the two golf balls that we've got, I say they're both Strixon, but they're very different golf balls. The yellow one is a much softer golf ball, okay, and you can feel that when it comes off the club face. The white golf ball is a two-piece golf ball, and it's much firmer, okay, and again, even when you just sort of juggle the balls on your golf club, you can feel the difference in how they feel, a lot firmer here and a lot softer. So often when we talk about different golf balls, we would talk about maybe the spin going a little higher or the ball going a little bit further, but what we don't often realise is it can really affect the flight on the golf ball. It was almost as if I had two different golf clubs there. The first three with the yellow balls were nice and low, loaded with spin. You can even see when they land on the range, even though the grass isn't that short, they were loaded with spin. Much easier to control. There's the white golf ball, a much higher flight, in the air for a lot longer. When it landed, didn't have as much control, and it rolled out. So if you're the kind of golfer who wants to hit those nice pitch shots that we see the guys hit on TV, we see them all every week on the PGA and European Tour. It takes one bounce, second bounce, it pulls up right next to the flag, and it's the shot that we all desire. If you're using something like that on the golf course, you can spend as much time as you want on the range and try and work into all the correct positions. You are not going to be able to hit that correct shot. If you're using something like this golf ball, which is a little bit softer, then yeah, you might have a chance of hitting that shot and getting that little bit more of control over the golf ball. So certainly I see lots of golfers coming to me and saying that they want to hit these shots with a little bit more control, a little bit more spin, control the flight, etc., which is fine, and we can definitely do some stuff on that technically. But if they're using the wrong golf ball on the course, it's not going to happen. It's really not. So certainly addressing the equipment that you use is going to make a big difference, making sure the grooves are clean, making sure that they're sharp, making sure that we strike the ball well. And then say the big thing is the golf ball. The golf ball makes such a big difference to be able to control that flight, put the right amount of spin on it, and get close to those flags from this distance. We saw the spin there go from sort of 3,000 with the white one up to about 8,000 with the yellow one. So I'm going to hit one more with this yellow one, and just see if we can put a little bit more spin on this one. So I'm just going to try again about 50 yards, and we should see the launch come down and the spin go up. Okay, so again, very similar. Launch is down at 27 and spin just touching 9,000 there, carried about 49 yards. So massive differences. I will just hit one more with the white one. Just want to see if I can get another spin number on that because we only got one before. And we'll put these numbers up on the screen so you can see. So, such a different ball flight. That's going to be high 30s, I would have thought, in the launch. It was at 41. Okay, so it carried 50.6 yards. So again, the distance was okay, but the launch angle was way up, and that was more than 10 degrees higher than the previous golf ball, and that's a lot more difficult to control. So certainly for me on the golf course, if I want to have a little bit more control over these shots, I'm going to have to use a golf ball with a slightly softer core that's going to allow me to play that shot that we all desire. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. I say it's a little bit different one, not much instruction in there, but maybe a little bit more informative. Maybe leaves you in a slightly better position to choose which golf ball you're going to use. But thanks for watching the video. Post any comments down below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. These videos are going up weekly, more content, hopefully helping you play better golf and enjoy your game a bit more. So thanks then for watching, and we'll see you again soon.